Now recently I made a video on the channel called Racing the Worst F1 Cars of All Time. This video is very much the opposite. Today we're racing 20 of the best cars of all time, but not just any cars. It's the last 20 World Championship winning cars going all the way back to 2004. So we're going to run you through them one by one, starting off with the Red Bull RB19, the most recent championship winning car with Max Verstappen. Very dominant, possibly the most dominant championship car of all time. Before the RB19, we had the RB18, of course, which also won the 2022 championship, also under Max Verstappen. So after those current generation F1 cars, we go back to the previous spec of F1 car and the very first championship winning Red Bull from Max Verstappen, the Red Bull RB16B, which was the most controversial of the three. We then switch gears to Mercedes, back into their domination era, of course, which was a very, very impressive stint, the most impressive stint in F1 history in terms of dominance. Let's quickly rattle through the cars, starting off with the Mercedes W11. We then go to my favourite, the 2019 car Hamilton champion, but this was the ultimate package in terms of beauty, aesthetics for a Silver Arrow F1 car. The W09, the first car with the halo, also a close here with Ferrari, but Mercedes getting the edge. 2017, of course, the W08, the last of the cars without the halo, Hamilton rocking the OG retro yellow helmet as well, and the shark fin, a very, very good looking car. We then go to 2016, a year where Hamilton did not win the championship for once. It was the only year where his teammate got the measure of him and Nico Rosberg won his only Formula 1 World Championship. We have the W06, which was arguably as dominant, if not maybe a bit more, than the previous one in 2014, which we'll get to in a minute, because this car won the championship at COTA super early. Hamilton had a breeze, dominated the championship, crushed his teammate, and won in convincing fashion. And then finally, 2014, the car that started off the Mercedes domination era, and an era of absolute history and excellence, starting off with, of course, the W05, the 2014 machine, which was really, really quick, really impressive, and pretty much impossible to stop. We now head back to Red Bull territory. 2013, the last of the V8 years and the last of Seb's championships with Red Bull in that epic 4-year stint, dominant 4-year stint before Mercedes arrived, and of course this one, the Red Bull RB9. We then have the RB8, the 2012 Red Bull, which had a bit of a tricky start, but eventually they got things together and won the championship, their main rivals being Ferrari and Sebastian Vettel once again the champion. Here we have arguably the most impressive of all the Red Bull cars during its 4-year stint, the RB7 from 2011. This was the ultimate Adrian Newey creation until later times, but at the time this was super, super impressive and super dominant. Sebastian Vettel went on a tear this year and pretty much crushed everyone. And then the 2010 Red Bull, the RB6, the car that never led the championship with Sebastian Vettel up until after the last race when he clinched it in the finale. And yeah, a car that was also very iconic, a downforce monster, and one of the Adrian Newey freak creations. And now is when things kind of take a bit of a turn and kind of mix up a little bit. So 2009, of course, we have Brawn. We recently covered this car in a retro Can I Beat the Pole lap at Australia, link in the top right. But this car, iconic, beautiful, a one-season wonder, and yeah, ironically, also technically Mercedes before they were bought out. So you could argue the dominance kind of stretches back to 09. And now we're talking. This is my favourite era or generation of F1 car, when they were much more, I would say, balanced in proportion, front to rear wing, much more squared off and lower looking, and just a lot more aggressive with all the wings and everything on the car. The 2008 McLaren, Lewis Hamilton's first championship winning car in that epic race in Interlagos, an absolute beauty in the chrome and red. Of course, 2008 was the second of two epic years where the title was won back-to-back by 1 point in the last race, and this one was 2007, Kimi Raikkonen winning his first and only championship and Ferrari's last to this very day, the F2007. Renault time, 2006, the first of the V8s, Fernando Alonso winning his second championship with the Renault R26. Of course, after this, the most iconic of the two, the final V10 winning F1 car on the front row, Fernando Alonso's 2005 Renault R25. This was an absolute beauty. I think we all love deliveries, and to be fair, these retro ones do just hit incredibly good. You know, I love this era of F1 car personally. I just have so much nostalgia. I grew up watching this, and this was a piece of my heart, a piece of history for me in F1. I feel like the way I'm going through these cars, I'm like an NBA announcer going through them one by one, like a starting lineup. So I'm going to say, in first, the most iconic car of all time, my personal favourite, the Red Baron, Michael Schumacher, the Ferrari F2004, the last of his 7 championships, the last of Ferrari's dominant era, and on pole at the front of this epic grid of cars. Now for this one, I want to give you guys a treat, a special treat. So, as we have 20 incredible F1 cars here, you know, history on this grid, we're going to do a 10-lap race. We're going to do a bit of a longer one and, you know, give these cars a chance to do their thing and show off, you know, their traits, and also see which one stands out at the end. Obviously, not all the mods are going to be entirely accurate. Some cars are legit, you know, scanned cars in this game which you have to pay for. Others are just, you know, public mods. But either way, we're going to appreciate a bit of history in this video and, you know, some absolute excellence in terms of F1 car design. So, just getting through the first corner. Hopefully the AI should sort themselves out. I've chosen a track which is original in this game, so the AI should be pretty decent, especially after the first lap. We can get some decent racing. So let's see how things go. Currently 18th as we head into Lake On. I'm just going to be a little bit cautious, as also our tyres are cold. We're realistically not even in the best cars, so it's going to be tough to, you know, overtake the likes of, you know, the 2020, 19, 18 cars, because they're going to be pretty speedy. So we're going to have to lock in here on the hardest difficulty as well. It's not going to be easy. Currently challenging the 2018 Mercedes, who is going to stay in front, but we're going to pull it on the second half of the straight. Not quite able to commit there into Pouon, so just having to yield. But now we're going to get the run on the exit, and we're going to get the run on the 2017 car as well. We may well not even break the top 10 this one. It could well happen. I mean, there's so much, you know, high caliber of car in this one. It's going to be tough to beat. Through Stavlo 1, Stavlo 2. Now we're going to get into the horsepower race, and this is where the V8 might struggle a bit, as it is the most underpowered of the cars here. Of course, the V6 is the weakest engine, but the hybrid system makes it arguably the strongest out of all of them, even stronger than the V10. So we're going to see an interesting dynamic across this race. Already P15 though, end of the first lap, so good start. Let's see, now we've got a little bit of rear tyre temp. We can start to push. Just need them fronts to try and rubber in a little bit, if possible. I can already tell AI behaving well. We're going to get some good racing here, which is good. And we're going to get some very even performance, which is fun to see. I'm keen to see which cars, you know, are at the front at the end of this thing. 10 laps gives us a pretty decent sample size to see what we're looking at. So, up ahead, some action going on there. I think the Merc's battling with some V8 Red Bull, or Red Bulls. That's the 2020 Mercedes. Now I can just see in front of, that's the 2019 one, just in front of us here as we get the run through Les Combes. Try to go through there as the 2020 car goes through on, I think that's the 2014 Mercedes, the first one. So a massive difference in downforce between those two machines. Getting a good run through No Name. To Pouon, the 2019 car through on the 2014. Oh, we get shot out the last second. Hamilton having none of it. We're going to go through Stavlo, not Stavlo, Les Combes. No, not Les Combes. The Fagnes chicane. That's going to be 3 attempts. Now into Stavlo. Going to try and get close, see if we can push here to get past the Mercedes boys, and then we've got some Red Bulls in front. Here we go. Now we're pulling on the straight, getting a nice slipstream here into Blanchimont. Going to take a little lift just to not run into the back of anybody. And now into the bus stop chicane. Careful, careful. That 2020 Mercedes is slowly but surely starting to make some progress. Here we go then. Looking to pass the 2019 car. Up the inside. Wrong gear, my bad. Didn't dip to second there, missed a downshift, but we barged through and we might get a run, although the 2019 Merc goes flying through. So that car getting the engine modes on there. We're going to switch ours on and open our DRS now for the first time. That Mercedes is absolutely zooming. And there's the RB16B. So that's fighting back, and so is the 2018 Mercedes. So now the AI fighting back here. Fair play. This is what we came to see. So it's not going to be just, you know, an easy race or one-way traffic. We're actually going to get challenged. Still P15. Good run, but this car seems to be pretty quick on the straight. The one in front of us, the 21 Red Bull. Oh, Mercedes off. Oh my god, just avoided that slight contact, but great avoidance. And that is P12 as we clear 3 in one go. Great stuff. And that gives us a bit of clean track, so we can start to push a little bit, which I think will help us out. I think we're quicker in clean air, so we can start to get a move on here and gain some of those places back. So let's push and let's try and get closer to those cars ahead and get near the top 10. Unless we get challenged into the bus stop, which wouldn't surprise me with the straight line speed. Looks like we're going to be alright, so we can do some recharge. Look at that, everyone going very slow through the bus stop there. I think we're hitting some slower traffic, so it's time to catch and try to make some passes. Here we go, now we're talking. Here's the real clash of generations. So 2016 Mercedes, I think, ahead of us, and then the 2007 Ferrari. So literally a clash of generations here and eras, you know, of F1 car. Completely different aero philosophies, you know, car design. We're really good through Porn. We've got way more downfalls than Rosberg here in the 2016 Merc, who does have the edge in the straight line speed department. Of course, those early Mercedes cars, 14, 15, 16, before the reg change in 17, those cars were smaller and a lot lighter, so they kind of gain a little bit, where these heavier cars and wider cars in 2017 onwards kind of lose out. I'm going to put alongside Rosberg here in the drag race. So there's a little bit of engine mode to try and see if we can stay with him. We might be able to go for the lunge into the bus stop here. Now we're pulling him in on the anchors. Oh my god, contact, big crash. Big crash. We're through in one piece, but we're locked on right now on our right rear. Ah, oh, come on, let me go. There we go. The 2019 Merc, I think that was, not letting me get away. And we get lunged by the 2014 Mercedes, and I think that's the RB16B back at it again, joining the party. Side by side, through a rouge, leaving space. Side by side all the way up the hill, we lock on again, and I think the Red Bull's gone for a spin, so apologies mate, I was trying to leave space. So again we're going to have to try and swim upstream as we go through on the 2014 Merc. Nice move there into Lake Com, and now finally we're into the top 10, but still work to do, and we're not even half race distance yet. Shame we got a bit of a crash there and a bit of an incident, but the AI have been very decent so far, very well behaved and racing at a good pace, so it's making it quite challenging. Got some more action up ahead. Side by side Mercedes boys. Wide car versus narrow car. The 2019 one loses out to, I believe, the 2016. We set another personal best as we clear the DRS board on the start finish line. So we're starting to make some progress, another personal best on that lap. Tyre wear just starting to kick in a little bit, so I think everyone might be struggling on tyres in the second phase of this race. Let's try and close the gap here and get closer to the silver arrows, get into the top 8, and then after that, I can't really see. I see one more car right down the end of the Lake On there, but this could well be it, so let's see how this all pans out. Right then, we might be able to get a big run here. Q1 is nearly flat, fuel's burning off. So we're now going to put some big pressure on Rosberg. I think it's Rosberg, I'm trying to guess based off the colour of the rear wing, which is black, so I think it is the 2016 Mercedes. Rosberg's in a bit wide, and we've taken another victim. Sorry mate, that slight correction he had, we just tap him there and send him round. Right, we're going to have to push on now. That 2019 Merc has completely disappeared off into the distance, which seems to be a very fast car. So at the minute, it's looking like P9. I'll try and keep pushing. But we have clear track for the foreseeable future. I might leave like a little engine sound lap or something in it for you guys to enjoy the experience. But at the minute, sort of keep pushing and trying to see if we can catch some cars at the end of this thing. So at the moment, I think we've hit the best we can do pace-wise. I'm currently nearly 2 seconds up on my personal best, but there's no car in sight. So I think this might be it in terms of us and our pace. So, which is kind of where I expected this car to kind of, you know, lie pace-wise. It's not the quickest. It's pretty quick, but the reality is the car's very big, very heavy, so it does lack in some other departments, which, you know, is the reality of these modern F1 cars. But I'm keen to see which one wins this. I really am. I think that 04 Ferrari is going to be the one to win. I've got a feeling. Also, I don't know what fuel loads everyone's running in this race, if, you know, everyone's going to make it, but at the moment, I think it's going to be a case of just making sure we don't get caught. I reckon the RB16B from 21 could still creep up and try to spoil the party. So, just trying to keep things consistent and driving the car nice and smooth and enjoying this car, which even on pretty worn tyres now, still feels fantastic to drive, and it's just smooth on the track in most places. Oh, there it is. I was trying to recharge some battery to try and go for a push on the last lap, but there is our nemesis, the 2021 Red Bull, which has been a pest this whole race. It's been creeping up on us the whole time. So that's going to be our battle this race. Can we keep up with a car 2 years older but substantially better on aero? Guess we're about to find out. Last lap of the race. That car looks bloody quick, so we're going to have to work for it here. I've got the race engine mode on, but I'm out of deployment. I've just not been able to recharge. I used everything in the first couple laps and I just haven't got it back since. So we're going to probably have to send this in the middle sector and see if we can pull it back a little bit. Open the DRS, try and do whatever we can here to stick with that car. Looks like that we don't quite have the pace. Can we hold on to our points finish? Let's see if we gain anything back through here. Maybe our car will work better through this phase. Maybe that car's struggling on tyres, but it's just very quick on the straight. And that's very good engine mode. Visibly, it looks a little bit closer. I think we're pulling them back here a little bit. Up by 0.3. You can see in the bottom left my tyres are hitting the cliff right now. Big time, which might be the reason why he's still keeping a gap and we're not able to catch. Giving it everything right now, pushing these tyres to the absolute limit. Still got another lap after this, but I'm trying to see if I can get close, but I don't think it's going to happen. So it's going to be about trying to hold on to P10 on the last lap, I think. Oh my god, I've just been destroyed. I had no straight line speed, no top end speed. I'm going to run it in charge for this middle sector. So we're going to have a last lap scrap versus Hamilton versus the W09 to try and hold on to a point. All four of my tyres have hit the cliff now. We are really struggling on tyre wear. So I'm just hoping I've got enough energy to try and fight this maybe into the bus stop. Just got to try and stay close through here. This is going to be a photo finish. This will go down to the wire. It may require a bus stop chicane send. Hamilton's a bit wide there and is flashing. Trying everything to use these tyres and take the widest lines possible. Backhand snaps. Let's go to push mode here. Let's use everything we've got left in the tank. It's going to come down to the bus stop. We've got a little bit of charge. I can still see it on the dash. But we're very close. I think we've now hit D rating. We're not going to get it. The Merc's going to hold on. Barring any late surprises. Maybe a mistake. Nope. It's going to be P11. We're going to fall short. Oh, what a shame. Just ran out of tyres and everything at the end there. Ah, wow. That was tough. That was a bit like what I expected this race to be with such good cars. It was going to be a challenge to get our usual podium or top 5 from last place. So, really enjoyed it. Fireworks off. A lot of fun. Well, there we have it then. Here is the final rundown of the cars in this race and how they finished. P1, Fernando Alonso, the Renault R25 2005, followed by its successor 2006. Then a 20-second gap to the 2010 Red Bull RB6, followed by the 2012 RB8. The Brawn in P5, the surprise one for me. P5, very impressive performance from a car which was quick, but ultimately quite limited. Not an absolute downforce monster besides the diffuser, but it wasn't, an Aero F1 which had loads of, ground effect or loads of aero, sticks were brand new. It was a very kind of raw but effective error, but the Brawn done pretty well. The 2004 Ferrari, my surprise, actually ended P6, which was actually, I think, a bit disappointing considering it started on pole. I thought it would be a lot better than that. And then the 2020 Mercedes P7 from way back on the grid, followed by the 2019 car, and then the 21 Red Bull, of course. The 2018 Mercedes rounds out the top 10. We finish in P11 with the 2023 Red Bull, followed by, I believe that's the 2022 car, so just behind us, although I'll say that 20 seconds down the road. 2017 Merc, sorry, the 2014 Merc, followed by the 15, and then the 16 in P16. Then we have 2013 Red Bull, 2011 Red Bull, and then closing out the entire grid with DNFs, to be fair, so 08 car of McLaren and the 2007 car from Ferrari. So two cars which I thought could have been surprise packages, DNF, so we didn't really get a full picture of what their true pace really was. But yeah, guys, there we go. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe. All the mods will be linked down below. I'll try and get a collection of links down in the description, so go check that out. Spa is a default circuit in Assetto Corsa, so no need for a link for the circuit itself. So yeah, guys, hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And as always, a big shout out to the channel members for supporting all the content that I make. Check out the 2 videos on screen. And yeah, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see all of you in the next one very soon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Adios.